Hi, Mandy. This is Gina coming to you from Washington, D.C. And I just hope you're enjoying your evening with your children and your work and your homework. And I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed your post. I really liked your explanation of the data analysis in quantitative research, how you related that to starting with the whole, breaking it down into pieces, and then bringing back the whole again for a much better understanding of the whole. So in the Gospel of Luke, the life story of Jesus is told, and though we look for themes, and in our case as qualitative researchers, we look for coding or we look for major themes to bring it together. We get to interpret it ourselves, how those themes have meaning for us. And so I really like your choice of the three things you picked: faith, sacrifice, and belief. And in Luke 1, the faith of Zacharias and Mary and Elizabeth is questioned. Even Jesus is questioned in Luke 4. But Luke points out that Mary didn't really understand everything that was told to her by the angel Gabriel. But Luke portrays her as kind of playfully praying, entering into this great mystery before her. So he says in Luke 150, Mary kept all these things, pondering them in her heart. So I think what he's trying to say there is that faith doesn't mean necessarily understanding everything perfectly, but it does mean that we can bring our questions before the Lord, and questioning doesn't necessarily mean mistrust. Okay, so when I was growing up as a Catholic girl, to question meant to mistrust. But I think in this case, questioning just means asking for more information. Although we don't have to examine everything, we don't have to pick everything apart and decide if that's convincing enough for us to believe it. There is a certain amount of trust that we have to have. We have to trust God, and when we're asking something, it doesn't necessarily mean we don't trust it. It means we just like children, they ask for more information. When they say why, they're essentially asking for more information. So your other theme about sacrifice, and I think you as a mother, a student, a wife, a Christian, a counselor, I think you know something about sacrifice. And we learn in Luke that one of the key elements of Jesus' ministry was calling on his disciples. And well, the disciples are the ones that are going to carry out the mission after Jesus is not there anymore. So those who want to be his true disciples must really be totally committed to his cause. And I found this cute little article about sacrifice and about trying to understand. And it's written by Lynn Carter. No, I'm sorry, Lynn Corker. It's called "When God Calls You," and it's about, you know, when you were struggling with what God is asking you to do. I just want to read you, see if I can survive, this little piece out of it. She says, "My prayer is whatever you need to surrender, that the Lord of heaven would take you by the hand and gently guide you into a walk that is more trusting and intimate than you have experienced. That you would come to know the joy of living to serve a God who has no boundaries and can do all things." So it's a story about why she's still single and how she's trying to interpret what's going on with her life, and how she commits to trust, essentially. So so the last thing is that it's kind of a hard lesson for Christians who are immersed in a culture of self-indulgence or materialism, that have the notion that when you serve Jesus, it should be just painless, it should be just convenient. But when you do that, that's you're not giving your total energy and your talent. You're just giving the leftovers. And so I think the lesson is Jesus expects total commitment and sacrificing. So I thank you for pointing all that out. Sacrificing for Jesus might not always be easy, but for sure it will be the greatest reward. Great post.